against St. Catherine Racers. There you have it, the national anthem of Jamaica, as we get ready for this third place playoff in the Elite League, sponsored by Seprod, put on by Netball Jamaica. These teams have been battling since the 10th of March. As you look at the Kingston Hummingbirds lineup, Khadija Williams at wing attack, Malaysia Kelly at wing defense, Dean Thomas at center, Tracy and Francis their goal shooter, Amanda Pinckney at goal attack, Shanika Jones at goal defense, and Vangelie Williams at goal keep. Daniel Laidlaw, Tanya Thomas and Tia Shea Whitmore among the substitutes for the Kingston Hummingbirds. The Kingston Hummingbirds in pink and grey, as the St. Catherine Racers get the game going. Barbara Hines and Bethune Morgan, the umpires for this encounter. And the Hummingbirds get the ball. They looking to get the first goal of this contest, as we say good evening and welcome to Sean Murdoch. And the ball gets inside for Tracy and Francis, who puts the first one away for the Kingston Hummingbirds.
Ricardo, thank you for having me. I'm noticing quickly a change in the lineup for the Racers team. I'm seeing that their captain at goalkeeper. The captain is actually not on the court. She's actually warming up in the background, and I'm seeing the starting goal defense is also warming up. So there's a slight change in the starting lineup for the Racers team. I'll just run through that quickly for you. The goal shooter is Simone Gordon, goal attack is Zardy Green, the wing attack is Shadeen Bartley, the center is Teresa Beckford, wing defense is Amanda Thompson, starting goal defense now is Teresa Beckford, and Tavone Bailey is the goalkeeper that started. Interesting start for the team here in blue. That is the Racers team. Seeing an early contact here on Vangelie Williams. It's going to be a very good game, Ricardo. These teams would have split their games against each other in the preliminary rounds. I think that was the case, and so it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. I thought the Racers had a chance of going to the finals, but their hearts were broken by the outfit that came out for the Hummingbirds in the last match.
Yeah, they have levered proceedings in this game as the centre pass goes back to the St. Catherine Racers. You are right, they did split the matches in the preliminary stage. The St. Catherine Racers beat the Hummingbirds 48-45 when they met first, and then the Hummingbirds got a 42-35 victory in the last match of the preliminary round.
I'm happy I don't know where this game will go, because the teams are so unpredictable in terms of the performances this season. A lot of inconsistencies, but there are some good moments from both teams. So it's just about who is going to be the one that's most consistent this evening. Yeah,
the Hummingbirds with Amanda Pinckney. Her range shooting has been a good quality for her, but she can be inconsistent as well, shown by the fact that she's only shooting in the 60s for this tournament. And that is a percentage that you want to be significantly higher. The ball turned over now, and an opportunity for the racers to go forward. That's a lovely lob inside. Great work from the goalkeeper, Vangelie Williams.
Yeah, I thought Vangelie did well. Vanjie's aging, and of course not the usual Vangelie Williams, but she's really impactful when she plays on court, and she's using her experience just now against the younger Simone Gordon.
Oh, the Hummingbirds, beautiful ball into Pinckney from Adine Thomas.
Just outside there from Tracy Ann. Goal shooter stepped outside.
So once again, the ball turned over loosely, and it is the racers who have a chance to head forward now. Shadeen Bartley looking for that
Obstruction
lob inside. And the easy ball into Simone Gordon, who misses first time but gets the rebound. Oh, misses second time. Gordon needs to set to herself here, which she does.
Yeah, and that's a part of the struggle that Simone Gordon, that the entire season, she's plagued with those, they call it yips under the ring. She's missing some from point blank range, and then sometimes she's getting them from a longer distance accurately.
The racers asserting themselves. Not a great take there from Simone Gordon.
Yep. Just some bad hands on that one. Was in a good position, held a good position, just never gathered the pass.
It looked like a good ball inside. Just couldn't hold on. The Hummingbirds now. Let's see what type of tune they can sing. That's a lovely lob, and brilliant work by the St. Catherine Racers defense.
That's Teresa Beckford in the national program. One of the young players. I think her future is really in the center court though, based on her frame. But we'll see.
Oh, beautifully done. And Gordon makes no mistake this time, puts it away first time. And the St. Catherine Racers lead by 4-1.
That's a good play just now by the Racers. They kind of open up the defense on the defense line for the Hummingbirds and caught the defenders out of play with that ball movement.
Pinckney. Oh, that's some skillful stuff coming from Teresa Beckford. Was it?
No, it wasn't. This is Amanda Thompson's contact call on Khadija here. She never made an attempt to get the ball, and so umpire deemed that she would have caused the contact.
That was a loose turnover.
Correct. I'm going to say it's early game, so let's see if that improves as the game progresses.
Lively start to this contest, but quite a number of turnovers as well, as Thomas finds Pinckney. Pinckney lobs it in beautifully for Tracy and Francis.
Tracy has been doing well for her Hummingbirds team in terms of her consistency under the hoop. Accuracy can be lifted, but she's really solid under the hoop for the Hummingbirds.
Oh, that's a neat ball in from Shadeen Bartley. And Simone Gordon tucks that one away for a 5-2 St. Catherine Racers lead. Yep,
I'm happy to see Simone back in the program. I'm not sure if she'll go the entire journey, but it's good that she's back. She's one of those players who was like a prodigy very early. She would have been to 2 under-21 tournaments, and so it's good to see her back. She had a baby and she's back playing, so that's good.
Beautiful movement that last time from Amanda Pinckney, arriving in the circle just in the nick of time to put away a comfortable goal.
Placement on that pass wasn't the best. I never thought Simone did enough either to make it help to save the pass. Interesting midcourt here for the Hummingbirds. They have Khadija and Adine Thomas, 2 Sunshine girls who would have been at the last games when they won the silver medal, and so we should see a lot of movement. First phase for the Hummingbirds on the centre pass.
Oh, chance to equalize, but
stepping call on Tracy and Francis.
Yeah, was never in control, having plucked that one out of the air. And
Yeah.
The turnovers continue. Just not enough patience being shown by either team in trying to get that ball in the circle. Here is Pinckney.
I agree with Ricardo in terms of the patience. Here we see it again. Luckily it falls in Pinckney's hand.
And she levels the score at 5 apiece in this first of 3 matches, best of 3 matches in the third place playoff. The finals will also be a best of 3. So you have to give a lot of credit to Netball Jamaica and the format of this tournament. They're ensuring all the teams get as many matches as possible. This tournament started on the 10th of March. 4 teams in the tournament. The top 2 teams playing in a best of 3 finals, and 3rd and 4th place playoff for the 3rd position, as this one is put away for another goal for the Kingston Hummingbirds.
Just a correction, Ricardo. 3rd place is a one-off match. Just one match for the 3rd place playoff. The finalists will play the best of 3.
Just one match for the...
There goes Teresa Beckford.
3rd place.
Teresa Beckford was on that Fast 5 team last year for Jamaica as well, so her experience is growing. She also played in the qualifiers for the Americas tournament.
Here they come, racers. Thompson.
All right, I'm not sure if it's a deliberate move, but I'm seeing that the Hummingbirds just now drop kind of a box defense. They're kind of marking the space and not so much the body.
Green doesn't go.
Malaysia Kelly. So the Hummingbirds have a lot of experience in their lineup. They have Malaysia Kelly at wing defense.
Pinckney comes up short again, but we'll get another opportunity.
Yeah, obstruction there on Teresa Beckford, so she gets an easy one. Oops.
Not so easy when you miss that.
Yep.
And Tracy and Francis doesn't do well enough to keep it in play, but that was a really good opportunity for the Kingston Hummingbirds to take control of this first quarter.
Yep. And the Racers had the same opportunity. They let Kingston back in the game, allowed them to come back in the game, and now we have a ding-dong battle. I thought that was a poor pass. Placement could have been better from Simone, getting a wider angle from the defender.
Yeah, I just think it was a panic pass, really. And now the Hummingbirds come quickly down the court, and Amanda Pinckney with her favorite move and finishes it off to give the Hummingbirds a 7-5 lead.
Yeah, and the defense just now allowed her to take an easy shot, like a free shot, no hands, no fear factor was in that play. They allowed her to just shoot, and that's going to be easy for Amanda any day of the week.
Yeah, she can be so difficult to mark when she's arriving from behind the play.
Yes. Now, so there's a timeout. I'm going to assume this is a tactical timeout that's been called by the Racers team. And it's probably a chance to bring in their usual starting defenders.
Margaret Anderson, former Sunshine Girls head coach, not looking too pleased with her Hummingbirds lineup at this stage, even though they have a 7-5 advantage.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been pleased either, because they were playing without their 2 stronger defenders. They were playing against Racers without their 2 stronger defenders, and they're only leading by 2. So now defenders come. Not saying that it might be easier, but it might be harder. But it is supposed to be harder with these 2 defenders that just came on.
Yeah, there's the lack of patience that I spoke about. And another turnover, this time for the Racers, and the Hummingbirds with a magnificent opportunity to really tear open this first quarter.
Yep.
It's good work from Pinckney. Now can she finish?
Yes.
No, she can't.
So the defense is harder now, so you see that Amanda is now thinking about whether or not she wants to take the shot or pass the ball, and so they're losing position here. In terms of changes, just now Teresa Beckford is now at center. Shanika Johnson came on at goal defense, and Abigail Linton comes in at goalkeeper. And that's for the Racers team. And that change means Tavoni Tavoni. Bailey is now at wing defense. Great intercept from Adine Thomas just now. Nice hands over.
Tracy and Francis can't complete the heroics for the Hummingbirds.
So we're watching a tennis game, Ricardo. You'll be happy about the tennis part of the game.
Not exactly. Usually my tennis games end in winners, and I'm seeing a lot of unforced errors in this one. Lovely lob inside to Gordon, and she puts that one away. 7-6, just one the difference.
All right, so let's see. Evangeli looks a little bit winded, but it's early. Let's see. We have in netball we have this thing that they call the first bus. So let's hope that's the first bus, and it's got to be all engines going after this one.
Usually in tennis you use that term when you're just coming back off a long break, and so you feel that there is more there, but you need to get that first bus out the way.
Okay.
But not when you're playing consistently. That's just lack of fitness.
Which could be true, but sometimes you just need to get that first bus in to get going, and I think mentally netball that's how we think. That is a first bus, so let's see what happens.
There's Gordon again.
And in terms of the Hummingbirds team, there's also Shanika. She's also a member of the current long squad for the Sunshine Girls. So they have a really useful back line. I think both teams are good on the back, actually, in terms of the personnel that they have on the teams.
Remember, these two teams have already met twice this season. They split matches. The first match they played, the St. Catherine Racers beat the Hummingbirds 48-45. And when they met on the last day of the preliminary round, the Hummingbirds turned that around to beat the Racers 42-35.
Yeah, I spoke to the Racers coach after that game, and she was extremely disappointed. Naturally, should have been. I thought that they played well to get back into the mix of trying to make the finals, and just to see them lose it at the very end, it was hard, and she took it very hard. I'm hoping the team rewards her today in terms of playing consistently. I'm sure the Hummingbirds, though, would want this victory and are going to do their very best to secure it as well.
Very much the case, as you pointed out, just a one-off final for the third place, a best-of-3 playoff for the championship match. Just seconds to go in this quarter. And there's the final buzzer. First quarter out the way, Sean.
First quarter, not the best. It was a little hard to see the amount of turnovers that the teams were creating. We're in the back end of the season, so we know that the early issues that the teams would have had in terms of lacking synergy and cohesion, that would have been gone, and so the teams should by now be showing a little bit better in terms of their structures and the amount of balls they're turning over. So it's a little bit disappointing to see the turnovers, and I'm hoping the teams will do better as the game progresses.
Yes, St. Catherine racing out of the blocks, but the Kingston Hummingbirds have flown back into this one. More to come on our coverage of the Netball Jamaica separate Elite League from the National Arena in Kingston, Jamaica. Back at the National Arena, second quarter action in this third place playoff. Netball Jamaica separate elite league. St. Catherine Racers taking on the Kingston Hummingbirds. Ricardo Chambers alongside Sean Murdoch, Sunshine Girls assistant coach.
Ricardo, I'm hoping that we're going to see a better second quarter from both teams. Better structure as well in terms of defense, and not just because the errors that I'm seeing now are not forced. As you said earlier, they're unforced errors, so they're not being forced into the turnover. Some errant passing and some clumsy play, to be frank. So let's see if that gets better as the game progresses.
Tracy and Francis getting that one in for the Hummingbirds. They're now behind by 1, but that's a lovely ball inside for Simone Gordon. And Gordon unable to put that away, would be disappointed with herself, was in a good position. You need to be scoring those. Yeah,
Evangeline using some experience just to get in the head of Gordon there, and the result is that the Hummingbirds are coming out with this pass.
Racers possession, opportunity to go up by 2 once again.
All right, it's a good feeding position there for Beckford. You could see Evangeline using some body there, and Simone Empire missed.
Good movement from Zaude Green.
Yeah, Zaude has been consistent for this team, and that's especially in the shooting circle for the entire season. I think that she's a major part of the success that they've had in the tournament during the course of the season.
Gordon tucking that one away, and they get into double figures, the St. Catherine Racers, and the Hummingbirds now forced to come from behind early in another quarter.
Yeah, and the easy first phase there for Khadija on the center pass. Defense needs to be tighter, and you have some girls, as I said, who are in Sunshine Girls training. Sunshine Girls squad rather, and they should be playing some tighter defense on first phase. But it's an easy first phase, but they're holding them up. Good intercept there from Abigail Linton.
Fabulous reading of the netball game.
And the Racers are using the width of the court, moving from right to left. Should be getting some intercepts on those cross-court passes, but if it's working, I guess you can keep going to it. I'd prefer the shorter passes though.
Gordon puts them in front by 3. 12 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the second quarter.
And Beckford has gone to center since the defenders came on, and that's where I like to see Beckford. I just feel like her frame is one that will give us a good center for the future for Jamaica. Reminds me very much of Paula. Great intercept there from Shanika Johnson, former Sunshine Girl rather.
Yeah, it was a pretty poor pass, to be honest. You're giving the defenders a 50-50 opportunity when you pass the ball into an area like that.
Yeah, and as I said with the play before, once you go across court, then you're setting up yourself for that kind of intercept, and that's what the Racers are doing the next end, but the Hummingbirds are not picking it off.
Three the difference. St. Catherine Racers playing in the blue, they have possession of the ball.
So the center pass defense was good just now. They forced the Racers team to go back on the center pass, but then after that very first one, the defense wasn't as tight, and so they were able to transition through court easily.
Zaude Green gets a second opportunity and gets this one to go 13-9. St. Catherine Racers here opening up a 4-goal advantage.
Yeah, what Simone, so we've been commenting on Simone's shooting accuracy, which is very low for the season, but what she does well and probably is doing better than most of the other goal shooters in the league is her defensive play. Once they've lost position, in terms of her hands over and trying to win back the ball, I think she's been most consistent as a goal shooter on that one.
Once again, not putting away what should be a relatively easy shot, but she gets a second opportunity and easily tucks this one away. 14-10.
Yeah, and you look at the one that was missed, is same position, same distance from the hoop, and it was a horrible miss, and then the one that went in rimless. So you kind of wonder what is the challenge she's having with those ones that she's missing. A lot of whistle in the game now. And she scores it easily. Seems like a tactical timeout by the Hummingbirds here. That's 5, the difference.
Yeah, largest lead of the contest so far, 15-10. Just over 9 minutes to go in this second quarter. 9 minutes to go in the first half. And the outstanding former Jamaican centre, Paula Thompson, having a word with her team.
I know you're happy to see Paula as well, Ricardo. I'm not sure if that's where you want to see her. I'm sure you want to see her up and down the courts in a beam.
Yeah, I still think that she could perform at a world-class level. She was so good, Paula Thompson.
Yeah, I agree.
Remember that 2014 Commonwealth Games towards the back end of her career.
Yep.
That was, and I thought after such a stunning performance that she would have gone on a few more years.
Well, she did 28 Com Games, and I think that's when she called it quits, after 2018 Com Games.
She was such an amazing player, Paula Thompson.
Yeah, she was, and probably still is. I'm sure if she puts on a netball kit, she'll still be amazing. But it's good to see the Sunshine Girls, or the former Sunshine Girls, on the sideline. I mean, they've been there, they've done that, and they kind of have an understanding of what it takes. And most of them are, some of them rather, are teachers as well, and so they're well equipped to train or impart knowledge to the next set of players.
Fifteen to 10 then,
pass.
the Racers leading the Hummingbirds in this third place playoff. One-off encounter, and the Hummingbirds have some work to do if they are to get back into this one, but they have time and they just need to clean up the unforced errors that will not help.
There goes another one. And so you see the Racers are still going across court with their passing, and the Hummingbirds are not picking them off at all.
16 to 10. The lead now up to 6. Oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah, another easy. That should have been an easy take for Francis. Nice try on defense, though.
That's an area that you would expect your goal shooter to be able to score from, but the ball sent back outside the circle. Fortunately for the Racers, they get the goal, 17 to 10.
Yeah, and in this version of the league, Ricardo, we may have missed it in the first quarter, we have what they call like a power play period. That's the last 3 minutes of each quarter, where the players are able to get 2 points once they score in that blue area or that outer circle within the shooting circle. The horn, yeah, there's a sound that the horn gives, and the players are aware from that sound. They know that they're in the power play period.
Good rebound from Simone Gordon.
So the Hummingbirds would need to find a way to dig themselves out of this. They would have already used their tactical timeout for the half. It's 1 per half. So they've already used theirs for the first half, and so they'd have to fix it while on court.
This has been a dominant second quarter from the St. Catherine Racers.
Nice one from Abigail Linton. Nice intercept there.
Kingston Hummingbirds looking out of ideas.
That was good positioning by Simone. I'm not sure I like the fact that she turned before the pass came through, but she kind of turned once the pass was halfway through. So I would have preferred if she held her back to or kept her back to the defender.
The Kingston Hummingbirds are allowing this to get away from them.
I think so as well. I'm not getting a lot of energy at all.
Gordon to Green. Green doesn't get it to go, but the advantage is 9 goals for the Racers team.
Yeah, it needs a spark. I think they need like a Vanjali intercept to get them going again.
Can't get the ball in the circle.
What's good for the Hummingbirds is that you have Amanda who is able to shoot those 2-pointers during the power play period, or the supplicant boost you up period for that power play segment.
Oh, that's a terrible miss from Tracy and Francis.
Yeah, they have a throw. No, they still have possession.
Pinckney. Difficult position to shoot from, but she gets it to go, Amanda Pinckney. And that is a much needed goal for the Kingston Hummingbirds.
And you spoke about at the start, Ricardo, in terms of her consistency in scoring those goals. Nice shot, but it's just about being consistent on the shot. And Amanda would have done well for us at the Fast 5 tournament in November last year. She was shooting those twos, a lot of twos for us and a few threes. Or should I say 6-pointers, because usually it's in the power play period, so we would have gotten 6 for those.
Three minutes and 50 seconds remaining in this second quarter, in the first half. Getting up to that power play period, which will be quite important for the Kingston Hummingbirds.
It is, and I'm expecting Amanda to be in the shooting zone for those power play shots to score those two, with the score being this far, this wide apart. The scores being this wide apart, I'm expecting her to be shooting some twos as the power play period hits.
But it's still the St. Catherine Racers dominating. Opportunity for the Hummingbirds now to start the power play positively. 15 seconds to go before the start of that. Let's see if they hold on to the ball until then.
But now they're going to take that shot.
There's the horn that signals the start of the power play.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see how the teams play this one. If I were the Hummingbirds team, I'd be trying to get the ball to a man in the 2-point. I'd be telling the team to get the ball to a man in the 2-point zone. The 2-point shot brings a different level of excitement to the game as well, for the fans for sure.
For sure, it's like a mini Fast 5.
Yes, it is. And so you get that kind of a vibe and energy in the stadium from once the power play period hits.
The best of 3 final series will begin following this third place playoff. And it will be Manchester Spurs up against St. Anne Orchids.
I coached the Orchids team a few years ago, Ricardo. But my position, I can't choose a team. I can't pick a team to win that one. But I coached the Orchids a few years ago. We were successful as well.
Orchids won in 2017.
Correct. Myself and Janet Guy were the coaches at that time.
Janet Guy, a long-time servant of Jamaica's netball, outstanding servant of Jamaica's netball as well.
Yes, she is, and with with coaching with Connie now, Connie refers to her a lot in terms of things that she would have done when she was a player. So I never saw her play, but based on what Connie says, I believe in what Connie says. Based on what Connie says, Janet was a pretty good player during her time. Connie says she learned a lot from Janet's playing.
And Connie was an outstanding player.
Absolutely.
So a little bit of Connie Francis, not enough.
Yeah.
I saw her last World Championship here in Kingston. 2003.
That was a special year for us. That was the birth of Carla Williams then, Borrego, now Borrego.
Yeah, the outstanding teenage left shooter at that time. Really one of the finds of the 2003 World Cup. Definitely the find for the Jamaica team.
Absolutely. And then the World Cup after we found Romelda.
Yeah.
So we're blessed in finding these shooters, these awesome shooters. And then of course there's Janelle. So we keep finding them. And now we have Shimona.
That's the end of the first half in this third place playoff.
14 to Kingston Hummingbirds. Come on now, put your hands
The St. Catherine Racers well clear in this encounter. We'll be back with second half action. A mountain to climb for St. Catherine Racers against Kingston Hummingbirds against St. Catherine Racers in this third place playoff of the Netball Jamaica Separate Elite League. Ricardo Chambers alongside Sean Murdoch for this encounter.
Yes, Ricardo. I'm seeing that there is a change for the Hummingbirds team. They've substituted their shooter Tracy and Francis, and I'm seeing that a new shooter is on. Seems to be Tanya Thomas.
Can they find a way back, the Kingston Hummingbirds?
They can. It's still that's what 1, 2, 3. Two power play shots and 2 regular shots can take them back in the game.
But at this stage, they're turning the ball over.
Yeah, and you can look at the body language. You can look at the body language on the Hummingbirds team. Seems low in energy, very low in energy. Especially defensively, defenders are pretty much walking.
Yeah, it's almost as if they don't want to be out there, the Kingston Hummingbirds.
Yeah,
this has been quite a lackluster performance.
They're looking for an early evening.
But unfortunately, you still have to play the entire time.
Yes, you do.
It's not one of those sports.
Not one of those sports. You have to play the entire time. And as I said, there's still time. So if I was coaching them, I'd be encouraging the team, because there's time enough for them to get back into this encounter. You know that the racers are making turnovers as well. Not like they're playing a perfect game. So there's still time and opportunities for them to get back into the game.
Long range effort.
So I'm interesting to see if the moving circle helps the Hummingbirds. So what it's forcing them to do now is it's forcing the defenders to also move. Abigail Linton much prefers to be playing on the body. So this is something for her to, this is going to be forcing her out of her comfort.
Ten goals the difference now for St. Catherine Racers over the Kingston Hummingbirds. And the Racers pulling further away now.
Yeah, it's becoming much easier for the Racers team. You can see there's some bounce in their steps, and the Hummingbirds need to stem that flow for sure.
This has been an extremely disappointing performance so far from the Kingston Hummingbirds.
Yeah, and as I said, the Hummingbirds have the team. They have key players from the Sunshine Girls outfit who are able to bring this game back for them. Amanda is now in her preferred position. She's now at goal shooter, which is her preferred position. So we should see some difference in terms of what she's giving off. But the team just needs to lift. Still looking a little defeated in terms of how they're moving on court. And the Hummingbirds have also made a change of Malaysia Kelly is now playing goalkeeper. Means that Vanjie Williams is now forced out to wing defense.
Well, the coaches are trying to make adjustments for the players to step up and perform well.
Yeah, and even though with those forced changes, these are familiar positions to the players, so it's nothing weird or unusual. It's about the players just putting them heads down and giving of their best for their team.
Under 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. (15-26), 11 the difference. The St. Catherine Racers on easy street at the moment, and it will take something special for the Hummingbirds to turn things around. Even with that goal, a long way to go. They need many more of those.
Yeah, and this is now the third quarter, so they like to say this is a championship quarter. I'm thinking that if the Hummingbirds want to have a chance, they need to at least win this quarter, so it means they need to start pegging back the goal. They don't have to catch the score all at once, but in terms of just starting to build a foundation in terms of cutting that lead for sure before the fourth quarter comes.
And then there's always a power play that can be utilized as well to cut into the lead.
Yeah, for sure. But the defenders for the Racers, I'm sure, will be keen. I'm sure Coach Nicole Aiken and Paula Thompson would be aware that that's a strong area for Amanda, and as such, defense should be tight once a power play hits in this very crucial game. It's their last game of the season. I'm sure both teams are looking to finish strong, so the team that has the lead will be doing their best to stay ahead.
(16-28). St. Catherine Racers leading by 12.
So the more the score is pushed out, the more comfortable the shooter Simone Gord looks. So if I'm the Hummingbirds team, I'd be trying to get her uncomfortable again. But with the score, in terms of how the score is going, she's looking a bit more comfortable, and so the goals are going easier for her and the Racers team.
Under 7 minutes to go. In the third quarter.
We need something special from Khadijah Williams and Adine Thomas. They need to have some form of energy for the attacking lineup to just start to get some goals back. It's a one-way street at the moment for the Racers team.
Not a lot that they have to be doing at the moment, the St. Catherine Racers. They just need to remain solid, remain composed.
Yep,
they are barely being threatened.
Finding the space easy on the court. Not a lot of defensive pressure coming at all.
The Kingston Hummingbirds couldn't have been any more disappointing than they've been in this contest.
I'm sure the players and coaches, especially the coaches, I'm sure they'll be very disappointed. Great to see Marvet back coaching in our league. Sure, this is not the way she would have wanted it to go in terms of the performance that the team is putting out.
Under 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. St. Catherine Racers well clear of the Kingston Hummingbirds. The lead up to 13 now.
Yeah, I think the Racers players are running almost unmarked in most cases. A lot of uncontested passes. Passes are really started. You're seeing contest on the ball once it gets into the circle, but outside the circle it's pretty much going too easy. And so you're having some missed shots from the Hummingbirds as well, and the ball transitions easily through court.
Another one for the Hummingbirds, 18-30. They have cut the deficit to 12, but
they're getting close to the power play as well, Ricardo. So let's see if the Hummingbirds will keep or not keep, will start a fire once the power play hits.
they've struggled to get the ball in the circle with any consistency. As we get the power play going, and it's the Racers who have possession of the ball at the start of the power play.
Missed shot from Simone. Ips. And she finishes.
18-31. St. Catherine Racers lead under 2:40 to go in the third quarter. Can the Hummingbirds get something going here?
All right, so we could tell, right, we're seeing that Amanda is now positioning herself in the power play area.
Being beautifully marked, and she'll be looking for those big shots. Amanda Pinkney nails
one.
that beautifully.
There goes
Just what
one.
the Hummingbirds need.
Just what they need. I'm hoping it's not too late. They need some more balls. They need to get more. They need to win balls now to give the team more opportunities.
Yeah, so that should be 20-31.
It should be 20-31. That was a 2-point shot just now.
They don't need to get too flustered, the St. Catherine Racers, as they put another one away, 32-20.
Yeah, they're taking the one. They're just keeping the scoreboard ticking over.
Yeah, you have a massive advantage. No need to panic. It's just one shot.
Yep. And the defense is tighter on Amanda, but she gets back into the circle.
Yeah, the fact that they know exactly what Amanda wants to do should make life a little bit more easier to mark her. But here she comes with another opportunity. Oh, that one rolls out.
And it's a throw-in, so they still have possession. She's starting low. I'm not sure why. I'd be looking to start closer to... I'd want her starting closer to the 2-point area. Oh, but there's a plan. Okay, there's a plan. That was a very good play.
Can't convert though.
No, and the Hummingbird, the Racers team, give it like they're walking, so they're giving they want the time to run off as quickly as possible. Less opportunities for Amanda to take the twos.
Under a minute to go in the third quarter. St. Catherine Racers in possession.
All right, so finally we're seeing that they're stalling the St. Catherine Racers team on attack, and that's good. But
yeah, but this is smart play from St. Catherine Racers.
Yeah.
The longer they hold the ball, less time it will be for the Kingston Hummingbirds if they ever get possession.
Poor pass. And the double was also on Simone, so I would not have gone there for that pass.
What can the Hummingbirds do here? They want to find Pinkney in that sweet spot to shoot for two.
The defenders are doing a good job. They're keeping Pinkney. If you look at Abigail and Pinkney, she's not giving her any breathing space.
Oh,
so that's good marking.
Fabulous defending from the St. Catherine Racers.
And they're just out of time.
And they're well out of time. And it will take almost a miracle for them to get back into this one. The Kingston Hummingbirds, they are up against it. The St. Catherine Racers have not been perfect, but they have been significantly better in this third place playoff. 3 quarters out the way, St. Catherine Racers lead Kingston Hummingbirds 32-20. Final 15 minutes coming up in the third place playoff of the Netball Jamaica Separate Elite League. Kingston Hummingbirds trailing by 12 against the St. Catherine Racers, and those young ladies with a lot of work to do. Despite the smiles that you're seeing there, they know that they're very much up against it and might require a miracle for them to get back into this game and defeat this team in blue, the St. Catherine Racers, who, as I said at the end of the third quarter, have not been perfect, but they have been significantly better.
Yes, they have, and I'm looking at the bench there and I'm seeing Coach Marvitt giving the team a strong talk. Tracy is still off. They're staying with the short lineup for shooters. Still choosing to have a moving circle.
Ball given away right off the bat by the St. Catherine Racers. Can the Hummingbirds build something here? Oh no.
That's what I told you about Simone's defense as a goal shooter. She does that best of all the goal shooters that we have in the league this year.
Which is great, but shooters are there to shoot.
Yes. Yes.
Just like that from Zaldi Green.
Yep, Zaldi is a standout for her team this season. Really impressive in terms of the volume and the work that she does outside. So Tracy is actually back on. So it's Amanda that's getting a breather.
The defense opened up on that occasion like a can of beans, and Tracy and Francis was there all alone inside the circle to put that one away. 33-21. Yeah, that's a range I just feel Gordon should be confident shooting from, but she wasn't.
Yeah.
And Zaldi Green tucks another one away. 34-21.
So that should be a point blank range for Simone Gordon. I'm not sure why she's offloading, and she should be even more confident to shoot now with the fact that she's up by this large amount of goals.
Yeah, the ball getting into both circles comfortably now. Let's see if the Hummingbirds can put some pressure on. Green.
Reset option used. The pass wasn't going anywhere at all. Nice work from Shanika Jones.
Too many passes that give the opposition a 50-50 chance of getting the ball.
Absolutely. And the more passes you make, the more options to defend, more chances the defenders have of getting an intercept. And so once you get into the circuit, or you ought to be looking at this shooting the pole.
Yeah, but the Hummingbirds not taking advantage. Even that last one got away with it, but
Yep, absolutely.
It definitely gave the Hummingbirds a chance at the intercept, or at least a deflection.
Correct.
Gordon scores.
That pass was not the best pass either. Really should have been taken by Kelly. Needed more height.
35-22. The lead is now 13. Not looking good for the Hummingbirds as they get the ball into Tracy and Francis. Francis just unable to put that one away from distance, and now, and I say distance, but it really wasn't that far out.
It wasn't. Cleaned up by Tanya Thomas there. Interestingly, I think this is Tanya's first game, so she's coming at a crucial time and giving her team some goals.
A little bit more energy coming from the Kingston Hummingbirds in this final quarter, but is it a little too late? 36-23, 13 the difference.
Might be late. That's 13. So the energy is there, but they're not cutting into the score at all. So it means it's even harder once a power play hits. So if they plan to do any damage, it needs to start now. I'm assuming they're resting Amanda until the power play period hits. Let's see if that's the case.
Since that one, 24-36.
Tanya Thomas unbothered, going about her business. So it could be a case, because it could be one of two things. Either she's just a confident player, or the score is so far that she's just in her own world and enjoying the game.
It's one of those things, you come on, you're 12-13 points behind, you can't do much worse than
Correct.
what's already on the
Correct.
scoreboard, so might as well relax
Correct.
and enjoy the moment.
So it could be that for sure. As I said, it's our first game. Good to see you out there. This is the highest level that we play locally. So if you're getting a chance here, it means you're on the right path.
Was on partnering with Amanda Pinkney. Now she partners Tracy and Francis.
Correct.
In the final quarter.
All right. So that ball was taken. That ball was deflected by Abigail Linton. So what Tracy never did is that she never did what we call a snatch on the pass. So the quicker you pull that ball out of the air, the less chance the defenders would have of even making a deflection. But she allowed it casually to go through, and the defender got a touch on it.
25-36. Hummingbirds possession. A chance to cut the lead, the deficit to 10.
Interrupted by Shanika Johnson, nicknamed Bolt. I'm not sure why. But her nickname is Bolt. Not sure if she's a sprinter on the track.
Let's see if she does anything Bolt-like.
All right, so their defenders are working hard. Almost by Evangeline Williams. So what I'd want to see now from the Racers team, once a power play hits, just to give the fans something exciting to cheer about, is for them to go for some twos. I feel like the game is already won based on the body language of the Hummingbirds team.
37-25. 9 minutes to go in the final quarter. 9 minutes to go in the match. And it is centre pass for the team in blue, St. Catherine Racers.
Still a lot of time, still an opportunity to come back, but they need to show it in terms of their play on court. And as I say, the body language just tells that we're just here, not trying to win the game. And they have the manpower to do it. So let's see if they can convert this turnover.
This is the third time this season these teams have met. The Racers beat the Hummingbirds 48-45 in the first match. The Hummingbirds got the better of the Racers 42-35 in the second match. Both those matches quite competitive. This one very much one-sided.
Yeah, and in terms of the overall season for these teams, it was up to the last game. We're unsure of the Orchids got through early. Not Orchids, sorry, the Spurs got through early. But on the last day of the preliminary round, we're unsure as to which of the three teams would have gone through to join the Spurs.
Yeah, the Orchids had a big win over the Manchester Spurs. That gave them a chance.
Absolutely.
And then their spot secured after the Hummingbirds beat the Racers. Just what the Orchids had ordered.
Yep, and then the good thing for the Orchids there is that the team that actually won the Racers and the Hummingbirds was the team that had the negative goal difference. So that also played into the hands of the Orchids.
That made the difference, really.
It did, because they both finished at 9, but it's the goal difference that made the difference. So you're spot on. Is a lift in the energy for the Hummingbirds? Let's see.
38-25, 13 the difference. The fat lady is clearing her throat now.
I think so too. I'd still want, what I'd want to see from our league at this level, I'd want to see like some sustained defense. I think we're on and off, and really not what we want, especially when we have most of these girls who are in the squad trying to prepare for the World Cup. There is no time off when we play against the top oppositions around the world. So I'd want the players to get into that sense of being consistent on defense, and also for the players who are attacking to be working through consistently being defended. So that's something that we need to look at. Certainly at this level, I prefer if we're seeing more of that kind of defense.
Disappointingly one-sided, this one. And the St. Catherine Racers closer to securing the third place playoff. I suspect they decided to go for a one-off game, because you wouldn't want a situation where the third place playoff goes to game 3 while the final doesn't.
Correct. We can see one of the former assistant coaches, Annette Daly, in the stands. She was a Fast 5 coach last year.
The crowd building as well. Many fans would be leaving work just about 5 o'clock.
Yep. And I'm sure they're probably now focused on just waiting on the finals to start.
Yeah.
They're probably reading the players' body language as well and thinking that the fat lady, as you said, is about to hit the stage.
Yeah. The final minutes of this third place playoff coming up. Remember, Manchester Spurs to take on St. Anne Orchids in the first of 3 matches. I think the suggestion is that the fat lady sings best.
Oh, okay. So Malaysia is contesting from behind. I need some more movement in terms of leg work to get in front. Always strong on the rebound, Malaysia Kelly.
Just looking at the statistics earlier and realizing that only one shooter in the Elite League this season has shot at 90%, and that's Chantel Slater. So that would be a little bit concerning, I would say. Mind you, we are fortunate enough to have some of the best shooters in the world who are not part of the Elite League, who play professionally in Australia. Shimona Nelson, Janelle Fowler, Ramelda Aiken.
Yeah, and those girls in particular, Shimona and Janelle, they may have missed only, I don't think either of the two of them have missed 3 goals in total for the season so far. Ramelda would have missed a few, but she usually misses hers at the start of the game. But then, because of the volume, she builds as the game progresses. And she's usually getting back those rebounds as well.
Well, one for the Racers.
So getting deflections, you need to convert those deflections to intercepts.
Just about 5 minutes to go in this encounter.
That's a good save by Simone. Wasn't the best of pass. Probably it was a better pass, but her positioning made it look like it was a wayward pass.
I think tonight we have seen exactly why the shooting percentages have been so low in this competition. So many of the shooters down in the mid-60s, mid-70s, which you definitely don't want. You could probably take mid-80s.
Yeah, absolutely. 80s for sure. The top shooters, as you said, Janelle, and even though they've only missed a few, the other shooters that plays in those leagues around the world are shooting very high, all the teams. So that's something that we really need to work on improving.
Janelle Fowler is exceptional. You're almost shocked when she doesn't shoot 100% these days.
Yes. And everybody's as well, because it's like it's expected that she's gonna score 100. So once it's a miss, it's like, whoa.
At the Commonwealth Games last year, she was magnificent.
Yeah, both shooters actually for us. They both, I think they were, in terms of accuracy, they were probably 1 and 2. Shimona had a higher average percentage rather than Janelle, but Shimona played less minutes.
Just over 3 minutes to go in the contest. St. Catherine Racers leading 39-27 over the Kingston Hummingbirds.
Errant pass.
And they haven't even hummed well today. The Birds have struggled from the get-go.
Yep, they have.
And with the exception of a
And they're now in the
2 or
power
3
play.
minute period midway the first quarter,
Correct.
it has really been a no contest.
They're now in the power play, but Amanda is off. She got a knock early in the game, or early in this quarter rather, and so she's on the bench now with an ice pack on her face.
Altania Thomas comes up big for them with
a 2-pointer.
a 2-pointer.
Yep. So it's now at 10, still time enough, but they have to maintain possession of the ball.
You're an optimistic fellow. No way they get even close.
They can, Ricardo. Let's go. Say they score this one. If they score this one, it's 8.
I just love your optimism.
All right, let's go. All right.
Absolutely
All right.
love
I'm
your
on your side
optimism.
now. Right? I'm on your side. They've given me reason to change my mind, like in 10 seconds.
Yeah, they just haven't played well enough today.
No, they haven't. They haven't at all. It's been interesting.
You don't just miraculously turn those things around when you've been as off as they have. It's difficult.
Yeah, and the clock keeps going.
St. Catherine Racers hit the 40 mark. And an inch closer to third.
All right, so the Birds are still trying. Here comes Amanda. Now, if I were coaching the Racers, I'll just tell my team to hold the ball. Just work the clock.
Ball management. But I think they know there's no way they lose from here, no matter what they do. Under a minute and a half to go. The Hummingbirds have given up.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So that pass should have gone to Simone in that same space. Where she landed is where the first pass should have gone to her.
Simone Gordon looks tired. She's played the duration of this match.
Yes, she has. And she would have taken some pounding. Evangeline Williams plays on the body. So that's a lot of, like, when you're playing with a defender who is on your body, it takes more out of you in terms of energy.
Under 30 seconds to go in this contest.
And the Racers
Hummingbirds
are
with
tight
possession.
Defense. Yep, they are playing tight defense. They were in a box or a zone just now, and they were unable to penetrate. The Hummingbirds were.
The horn about to go. Can Simone Gordon finish with a goal? She sure can. And the St. Catherine Racers finish well.
Yeah, that's it.
They secure third in the Netball Jamaica Separate Elite League.
So
It was a no contest, really.
it was 30.
The Hummingbirds never really came to play. They struggled all the way through the contest. A lot of turnovers from both teams, but the St. Catherine Racers able to put it together significantly better than the Kingston Hummingbirds, and they come away with a convincing victory.
Yeah, a convincing victory for the Racers team. I'd have preferred to see some more consistency. I would have preferred to see less turnovers, and I said I would prefer because some of these girls are in the national program now, and so to see them with the errors that they're making and the unforced errors, as you'd have said earlier, they're under no pressure when they're making the errors. I'd prefer to see a much more disciplined attacking play from the teams, and I'd want to see a sustained defense in terms of forcing the players to think, forcing the players to make different drives and change of directions. It was just too easy. They were just floating up and down the court, both teams.
Margaret Anderson, no doubt disappointed with what her Kingston Hummingbirds team delivered here this evening, but will be joy on the side of the St. Catherine Racers for pulling off this win and finishing in 3rd position. And they'll be pleased as well, because remember, they had beaten the Hummingbirds when they first met this season, but in the last encounter it was the Hummingbirds who came out on top.
Yep, so they'd be pleased. They're finishing 3rd, so there's reason to be happy. But as I said, in terms of what you saw in terms of the play on court, was not very impressive. A lot of work to be done by both teams. It's back to training for the ladies, especially the ones in the Sunshine Girls setup, and the other players I'm sure be focusing now on the club leagues that are to start.
Yeah, this tournament also important as the players prepare for the Netball World Cup. The Netball World Cup set for July 28 to August 6 in